For Duke, Captain Jack going with just all health potions, not really using all that much mana. Actually missed the execute on that minion, so he'll pick up his first CS after missing his other CS. So at this point in time, we get to see a rematch of game number 1, and in case you guys are either just now tuning in or missed that game 1 matchup, or even the 0 versus 80 carry matchup just in general that we got a chance to see yesterday, it's primarily can the 80 carry shove Azir into his turret quickly enough before he actually starts taking damage, and then keep shoving the turret in, or the wave into his turret, get that CS advantage, and then really just never let go afterwards. And for Captain Jack, as far as Kalista is concerned, Kalista doesn't necessarily have an area of effect ability to shove the wave like you'd expect to see from things like Sivir, Graves, Lucian. You get the idea. Caitlyn, another big proponent of that, but walking forward here, not sure exactly what Captain Jack's positioning is trying to do here. Just, I guess, zone Duke off the minion wave and then attempt to get level 3 first. So he'll get to level 3 and he'll put his second point into Rend, or into Pierce rather. 2 points in Pierce, 1 into Rend, and now we get a chance to see what the second point goes into here for Duke, or what the third point goes into. Putting 2 points in, I'm gonna guess it would be in Arise, but I actually not want to put points into Arise just because it's not going to be about how many Sand Soldiers you can spawn. It's going to be about how many times you can actually use your Sand Soldiers to get auto attacks off. So I'm not actually seeing all that big of a difference between both champions as far as the ability to push the wave, but there is almost a 1 wave difference between them in CS, and of course that is what's going to matter the most here. Jack actually walking into a Sand Soldier, and kind of confused as to that particular pathing, but for at least the time being, Duke has the wave in an actually pretty decent spot. He's going to be denying CS here from Captain Jack. He'll miss the initial dash there, being able to use that because those Conquering Sands. But for Conquering Sands, that is the big ability. If you can spawn 1, 2, 3 Sand Soldiers, then use Conquering Sands to reposition all of them and get off maybe 2 to 3 Sand Soldiers worth of auto attacks. That is so much damage, specifically for 80 carries who pride themselves in their sustained damage. Sometimes that is just not actually all that much. Captain Jack, whoa, going down very, very low. Does not have flash, keep in mind. Just relying on that martial poise to be able to, keep dashing forward and backwards and dodging out of these Sand Soldiers' range. But it is Ignite for Captain Jack and a barrier here for Azir. I want to say if maybe Duke had been more aggressive and gone with an Ignite, he might have been able to pick up a kill there if he had gone, something crazy like Flash Ignite. But of course, if you go Flash Ignite, it just tells your opponent play super safe and you win, as long as you're able to avoid those Flash Ignite all-ins. So at least for right now, Captain Jack doing a good job in the early game, but now it's actually evened up as far as CS is concerned. 32 to 33 here, and actually a small advantage here for Duke in CS. Duke just really trying hard after game number 1. Lost it to kind of a silly mistake, walking back into Rend range and just really underestimate, or being unfamiliar of exactly how to play that matchup. It's like a 2v1 lane where the support roams, except it lasts forever, and probably not a situation you'd want to be in, even in a 5v5 lane. Now what Captain Jack did there is he backed far enough off to his turret so that the Sand Soldier would be forced to come underneath the turret. When Shifting Sands, or Conquering Sands rather, moved it underneath there, and that way the Sand Soldier would expire more quickly. And, it would force out a little bit of extra mana. So, some playful banter in chat between both of the players. I'm not sure exactly what that said, but keep an eye on Jack, as, he's actually dropping down fairly low in HP, and keep in mind, he came into lane with 4 HP pots, whereas Azir only had 3, so Duke with less sustain overall. Whoa, Captain Jack, gonna be forced back to base, and the biggest problem here is that Jack is gonna miss all the CS. He can't go back to base right now. There's no way he can go back to base. If he goes back to base, he's gonna lose way too much CS, so he will actually stay in lane, CS that entire wave, and Well, now it's just going to be Duke saying, all right, man, you want to stay in lane? I'm going to stay in lane with you. Jack needs to find an opportunity to go back, but as soon as he does, Duke is just going to shove the wave into his turret, start getting a very, very large CS advantage. Now, interestingly enough, Duke does not actually opt to shove the wave into turret. He's going to pick up nothing but consumables, Doran's rings, and of course refilling his crystal. This represents I guess I want to say one of the last times back from base. Of course, give us a brief second while we recover from a little bit of lag, but back in on it. Triple Doran's build for both players. Of course, Captain Jack can actually get rid of his spear. I think you can sell that to the shop, but of course, do bear with us as we go through a little bit of lag issue. The biggest problem is that if you can't sell that spear, I'm not exactly sure how that works, because usually you don't play the solo lane Callista. Can you actually sell that spear? That's the big question, because if he has to just live with 5 item slots versus the 6 that Azir has, that could actually be a fairly difficult problem to deal with. Of course, dealing with this lag, it means that we get to watch Captain Jack mid auto attack, but let me actually try to get everything back to where it's supposed to be. It does appear as if we are there, so congratulations. At least, hopefully we're going to be there. Trying to get things back to live, and hopefully they can stay there, but Captain Jack continuing to push the lane up and onto Duke. Now, Duke has some crazy all-in potential if he's able to, I guess the word is insect, but to get back in onto Captain Jack, pulls it forward. The Emperor's Divide pushes him back, and with no flash to be able to counter that, the Ignite not enough for the all-in. It's actually Duke that is able to bring things back from a game 1 deficit and not even, using all of his sustain. This is the second game in a row where he was down before he went back to base, came back in the lane, and just walked up and killed his lane opponent here. Captain Jack is going to have to take a little bit of a breather, and of course he will be out of the Solo King tournament. Going to have to be a solo prince